Hello everyone, this is the Inside Web3 podcast show with Pigman.
There's assets that should be open to people all over the world, and what in the Grand Bazaar, like the one in Istanbul, like all these products come together. And what we do is we help projects with getting from A to Z faster, so they can build their shop front, but also find distribution, find liquidity, find help, everything there is around that. And where we are right now, we're early stage. We started with the data side of it. So a lot of projects can come onto a platform already, claim their free profile, showcase whatever they can do. And throughout the development of our platform, projects like Jade City and Apraemio will be able to do a whole lot more than they can do today. But we all have to start somewhere and grow together. And that's why it's cool to have these kind of spaces, to meet people and hear about different challenges.
And exactly, I totally agree with you. I see the upgrade on your site. You guys are gradually, upgrading and giving some updates and developing. And it's all about building and building and building. And yes, we can't stop building. It's just growth. It's definitely part of life, and we see the progress when we're making. So I really appreciate what RWA is doing. I think they're one of the few people in the industry that are saying things and doing it at the same time. There's a lot of noise out there, but you can only find a few people who are really doing what they say they're doing. And I'm here to say that real asset, IO has the entire industry, is having a vision that I believe RWAIO is making sure that it becomes a reality. So kudos to what you guys are doing. Seriously, kudos to what you guys are doing. Okay. Yes, we have Jade of Lagos, the CEO of Beach in Africa. He's here already and he's on the stage. So, Mr. Femi, if you can hear me, I would love you to introduce yourself. Share a little story about yourself in the space. I mean, your journey, and yes, just to beat up with time. After that, you just tell us your perspective about Web3 and tell us all about Beach in Africa. So I think you're definitely going to say a lot with this whole questions I've asked you. So the mic is yours. Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
You just have to unmute.
Yeah. I guess he's also having some technical issues, and I really don't know sometimes what's up with X.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Please. No, the mic is yours. I just asked, some questions. A brief introduction. We've started the show. I think, 30 minutes ago, if I'm not mistaken, and we've said a lot with giving introductions while we're waiting for you, and also said a number of things with what we're doing in the space. I mean, Jade City has shared a little story about himself, and also the whole story about Jade Mine, who Mr. Sebastiaan also have shared a number of things on RWA.io and what they're doing in diverse regions, in how they can unify the reward asset in the world. And yes, a lot has been said, and So we have you here now. So you do us the pleasure of giving us an introduction about yourself, your journey, and also about beach in Africa and your perspective on Web3. So just start with an introduction about himself. Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. Apologies. The internet has just been a bit bad today. I think we rocked a while ago. Oh, I don't know if it was just me though. So apologies for that, everyone. So my name is Femi, and my friends call me JB of Lagos. That's why you see my name right there. And I'm currently joining from Lagos, Nigeria, and the co-founder, and CEO of Beach in Africa, and really, really excited to be here for this show. Just a little bit about me. My background is in business management, entrepreneurship. Graduated from Lagos Business School. With my MBA. Currently doing my degree in business administration, and I've also failed in some businesses, won in some. Well, yeah, right here today in Web3, building in Web3. And so for me, Beach in Africa, we're a platform that provides quality, accessible, and comprehensive blockchain education to everyday people. We built Lingo. So Lingo is an LMS, just like your regular Coursera or Udemy, that explains or simplifies blockchain and AI consumer apps in easy language. One thing I want you guys to really think about is there's over 90% of the world population that really do not know what we're doing here in the Web3 space. I think we only know what we're doing on Twitter. But outside Twitter, on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, most people are just really lost in the whole big wide ocean of blockchain, AI, and all that stuff. And so, looking at the statistics also, with the invent of AI, a lot of people are becoming really lazy. So this led me to build a platform that's more like a multi-chain library that supports different products or different founders or teams that are building real solutions to solve real world problems. For me, it's about solving real world problems. And so the idea about Lego is being able to build a very large ecosystem for even founders to get feedbacks on how people perceive their products, the perception of the public about what you're building. And if you go right now on www.beachinafrica.com/lingo, you're going to see our LMS. You can all just go there, sign up, and try the product. This is really amazing, and you're going to love it. So, especially for people who are DJs, who are not founders in Web3, and all they do is buy and sell crypto, they buy meme coins, they really miss out. I think a lot of Web3 natives who are DJs really miss out on the amazing on-chain consumer apps built by founders that are looking to solve real world problems. So for me, Lingo is for everyone, right? And so we're supporting different chains from Base to List to Arbitrum to Optimism to Lana, whatever chain you build on. We want to make sure that the everyday people understand what you're building, why you're building it. And so even I think we would like to have some of the projects here on this space being featured and see how we can partner with you to get more people, get more liquidity, move from on-chain to on-chain, get more holders of stable coins. We want to make sure that we increase the TVL of the blockchain protocols. We're interested in increasing the volume of this on-chain consumer apps. So we're interested in actually providing value for these businesses that are built on chain and the products that are built on chain, and also getting value for the consumers and giving them the benefit of why blockchain exists and what the chain consumer economy is all about. So we also working on the On-Chain Festival, which is happening in October. So Beach Africa is powering the festival, and we've gotten endorsement from the federal government of Nigeria in the Ministry of Arts, Innovation and Culture and Creative Economy. And so it's going to be very big. We're expecting a lot of builders coming in from different parts of Africa. We'd like to have you guys there at the festival as keynote speakers, panel sessions, do the exhibitions of the product, and getting more consumers to actually understand what you built on the on-chain movement.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi. That was a lot and you said a lot on Africa. I feel many of the questions you or insight you'll be giving us will be based in Africa, because there's a lot going on in Africa that people don't know, and that's one of the reasons I said, oh, we have to have Mr. Femi on the show, because as I know it, and as I've shared also on one of my posts, Beaching Africa for me is leading when it comes to Africa. We've seen partnership. I mean, I've watched, the institution partner with, a number of institutions or projects. You've got Teta, you've got Base, and I see, I observe, and believe me when I say I appreciate hard work and innovation. So I think I run after it. I run after people who are, this visionary, and Mr. Femi for me is a visionary that has impacted, meet hundreds of Africans, young people, on this mission to onboard the millions on chain. So for me, if anyone wants to really do anything in Africa, Mr. Femi is the right man to go to. I'm very honest, and that's because what Bitcoin is doing for it's the Bitcoin is it's the future for me. Bitcoin Africa, and I recommend everyone here on this show to check out Bitcoin Africa. I mean, those who are interested in learning more on blockchain and Web3, especially if you're an African on this show, there's a lot you could learn from what Mr. Femi and his team is doing, of course, in Africa. So thank you very much, Mr. Femi, for that wonderful insight, and talk on what you guys do and everything. I'm going to move forward because kind of time passed, and I'm going to move to Mr. Will. Yes, there's a lot happening, and from the updates, in fact, I shared on news, particularly this month, we've seen stablecoins making strong trends, and we've seen stablecoins. It's all over the place. Believe me, I never expected stablecoins to make such a loud buzz of noise in this year, but it just came out of nowhere, and everyone's talking about stablecoins. We've got applications, we've seen posts, we've seen comments. Damn, it's so much, and that's one of the main reason I said this episode is really going to cover some insights on stablecoins. And yes, I really want to start with Mr. Wills, and I want to start by asking this question: how do you see stablecoins, of course, shaping the future of Web3, especially for a project like yours, the Jade City and Big Assets project? So how do you see this narrative? I mean, stablecoins shaping your project? Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing with stablecoins is, the typical stablecoin is a dollar-backed stablecoin, USDC, USD, and then there are other currencies. I think probably what we'll see is more asset-backed stablecoins as well, commodity-backed ones, which could work. I mean, you could have a copper-backed one or a nickel-backed one or anything that's a commodity of that type of metal. In the case of Jade, having a Jade-backed stablecoin wouldn't work, just like you couldn't have a diamond-backed stablecoin, because the thing is Jade comes in different qualities, and diamonds come in different qualities, and they're not liquid in the same way that a metal is, right? I mean, metals, the popular metals like copper and nickel and gold and stuff, they're almost the same as cash in terms of selling them. And for instance, whatever's is backing a stablecoin, it needs to be liquid. But where I think stablecoins are particularly relevant in the real world asset, or particularly with Jade City, is when you essentially stake your money or buy a bond or do whatever. In a lot of projects, you might be staking, I don't know, you could be staking Jade coin and earning more Jade coin, right? And the problem is that when you're staking or you're lending an asset that it is volatile itself, it can be risky and I think maybe increasingly unattractive. So certainly in Jade City, all of the staking and all of the bonds, everything is basically done it will be done in stable coins, USDT, USDC, and I think you'll see lots of this in platforms where you can lend your stable coins and you can earn a yield. But I think probably what you might see more of is, because if you own a stablecoin, it's very profitable, because if somebody buys $1,000 of your stablecoin, then the collateral in the bank, the real dollars, the $1,000 in the bank, or is either in treasuries, which are earning a yield, or they're in a high interest account in a bank earning yield. So everybody wants to have a stablecoin. And if you have a project like Jade City, or any project where people have to use stablecoins on the platform, you could also insist that they use your stablecoin, and that can generate extra revenues for platforms. So I wouldn't be surprised, and maybe it already exists. I haven't checked, but I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see platform where you can kind of basically, it's like, make your own stablecoin, just in the same way that you can mint cryptocurrencies very easily, or you can make, but it's almost like you can make your own stablecoin, or somebody will provide that service, and you basically just need to provide the collateral, and you can launch it, and maybe we'll see lots and lots of stablecoins. I don't know, but it'll be interesting if we do. So that's just a thought, and maybe it already exists. I haven't actually checked, but it would be interesting if it did.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much concerning stablecoins. And why don't we hear from Mr. Sebastiaan, your opinion on that particular topic and in regards to the reward asset sector?
Yeah, I totally agree with Will, of course, and but just adding a little bit of perspective and also personal opinion, maybe. I like it from a real world asset tokenization perspective because, well, it used to be not an RWA stablecoin, and now apparently it kind of is. And in my opinion, it is also an RWA because it's backed by a dollar. And I think these couple of months, stablecoin summer, I heard, it's all very interesting, but it helps with the adoption of real world asset tokenization, because if people understand that a crypto can be backed by $1, it can also be backed by Jade or by gold or whatever it is. So I think it really helps. But in general, I think mostly stablecoins are interesting for big money transactions, big transactions. And I have yet to see a friend pay me for a beer in USDT or USDC. We'll see when that starts. But it's great. It's great. Basically, every narrative which big names in the world pick up, it's good for us. I think for a lot of countries in the world with currencies who are really how do you say it in nice French, really bad, a US dollar is great. If you live in Venezuela, you might want to have USDT instead of a Bolivar. I can imagine. But for me in Europe, a dollar is still a dollar. It's still a money printing machine. So it takes away. I think it's not really the crypto way. It's centralized as well. So, I kind of like cryptocurrencies more, to be honest, and in particular, of course, Bitcoin. But yeah, I like that it's there. And I totally agree. I think there will be a lot of new stable coins, companies that do their own blends with commodities, whatever it is. It would be cool. Really cool to see these developments at the moment.
Okay, so, yeah. Thank you so much for that insight. Before I move to, I'm going to make some comment before I move to Mr. Femi, because I read the publication on stablecoins, and there was so much insight, in regards to what stablecoins is really going to do for the reward asset sector. A lot of things, especially for settlement structure, and you look at we're already seeing Tether dominating the market as we speak, and Circle following Tether, and you've got hold on issuers on the show like Sky and the rest. For me, I'm seeing in the future, I'm kind of seeing that the US dollar stablecoin is definitely going to dominate the market the way it's also doing with the ordinary US dollars that we use outside the stable coin itself. I'm talking about the traditional financial system, and what we'll be seeing is people still using and going seriously for the US, stable coins, which is already the most used stable coin in our world today in the market. And issue was moving straight to that. Yes, we've seen the euro stable coin, and a lot of things is happening even in Africa, like the Nigeria just started the CNG and compliant naira stable coins. We're seeing in Hong Kong, in Japan, and but it's still I'm still seeing the currency war coming into the stable coin market. And um yeah, this is not, of course, this is not, it's just a personal opinion, but the US is likely to dominate the market, the stablecoin market. I mean, the US dollars. And we're definitely going to see so many people keying into and holding on to stable coins like the USDT and the USDC and the USDC, of course. So the stable coin for me, it's really going to change. It's going to be a game changer for the reward asset sector, especially when it comes to pushing this narrative, to scale, because you're seeing it as a settlement infrastructure, and it's going to enable liquidity coming into the sector. So for me, this is a big game changer for not just the reward asset sector, but the entire Web3 space. I mean, the crypto space, as we see institutions moving. Yes, like it's creating doors for so many institutions, and even the unbanked. I mean, the unbanked, especially from Africa. I mean, Mr. Femi is really going to talk about that. But the unbanked will have access to US dollars, and also to virtual currency like the USDT, and yes, this is changing the narrative, not just for crypto, but for even the traditional sector, the financial sector, other sectors, and the banks know this. Central banks know this, and you could see their moves lately. J.P. Morgan, news on J.P. Morgan. You see payment services like what they call them, Visa, Mastercard. Lately, you hear news about what they call them again. I guess Amazon or what, but a lot is happening with stablecoins. It's definitely something everyone should put their eyes on, because this is really shaping the whole thing. So in Africa, we're seeing a lot happening with stablecoins, and I think Africans will feel very blessed, because as at this point, or I would say, it has created a moment where we can have access to the world financial system without third parties like banks. And it's changing the narrative for Africans, when it comes to having a sovereign in the US dollars, being able to keep or so convert their currency. And I'm seeing a correlation with, in Nigeria, of course, you have CNGN, the compliant naira. People can easily, without an intermediary of the bank, exchange a stable coin of naira to a stable coin of USD. This is going to change the entire landscape, of the financial sector in the coming years. I just cannot wait how great to see what is unfold. So yes, I will leave that African part to Mr. Femi. Mr. Femi, what's your take? Seeing stablecoin shaping the future of Africa.
Thank you very much, man. I would say in the past 2 years, over $400 million of on-chain value has been transacted. That is what we can track, though. But like, there's a whole lot of money being transacted, and that we can already trace. But I think in the past 1 year, 2 years, there's been millions of dollars being transacted. And this is just for global remittances. Let's say those who want to like send money back home, or those who are working for blockchain companies, or those who are actually looking to buy the first Bitcoin or the first crypto. So for real, I would say stablecoin has solved over 90% of the financial crisis, because it looks like Africa has been cut off from the global economy. PayPal doesn't work in Nigeria. A lot of those platforms where used for international payments doesn't work here. Venmo, Cash App, they all don't work here, right? But I think that stablecoin has been a savior, because a lot of Nigerians in particular use stablecoins for every single day transactions, right? So I could easily send money to Jade or Sebastiaan in the split of seconds or a minute. But that would never be possible if I was using like a traditional means of payments, right? And I could receive money from anyone here on this call, no matter what country you are. If you can send me USDC or USDT or any other stable coin in particular. So you talked about CNGN, which is the compliant Nigerian Naira, which is on an on-chain Nigerian currency. And for real, I think that bringing the Naira on chain will help us, do a lot of off ramping easily, right? A lot of people who do P2P, for example, say, so you want to sell me $100,000 worth of Bitcoin or crypto, right? And then I'm meant to pay you, in Naira, and then you send me to my wallet. So if I send you the Naira, most likely you might not, maybe the transaction might get some issues, or maybe the banking network is actually bad. But with having, stablecoin policies and having stablecoin, products, these days you could easily just use CNGN, do an on-ramp, you get your Naira, you buy CNGN, or CNGN, you convert to USDC. The same way you want to like off-ramp back from USDC, you convert to CNGN, from CNGN straight to your bank account. But it cuts off all the regularities of P2P marketing. And for real, with stable coins as well, there's a lot of opportunities right now. In the Nigerian money market, it's about 20%. So there's a particular platform which I am working with, Consent Finance, where you can actually hold stable coins and get a 20% yield. I don't think that's even available in the US market, for real. 20% yield is mind blowing. So let's say you have a billion naira in CNGN, you're going to be getting at the end of 12 months after staking, you're going to be on staking 1.2 billion naira worth of compliant naira, worth of CNGN, that's a naira stable coin. So for real, I think that it brings a lot of opportunities for investors coming to the market and also be able to interact with a naira. So of course, right, the naira is then minted on the blockchain, but it also gives our naira a lot more stability, because right now people are gonna be looking for how they can actually come in to hold more naira, and then when the naira matures after a year, after 12 months, they get to like off ramp it and swap to their desired currency. So what that means and why the government is really supporting the CNGN naira stablecoin is of course because it gives more stability to the exchange, gives more control over how the naira is being spent, and of course because there's a limit to how many you can actually mint, right? It also has a lot of control. So the money market is actually ready. It's not something you can find in mainstream media talking about right now, but there's a whole lot happening. And there's a lot of products that I'm very, very proud to talk about here on this space. First of all, there's a product built by one of my boys called Ada, and you can actually use WhatsApp to make a transaction, right? So anybody anywhere who is not a blockchain enthusiast, you might be a newbie, you might not know nothing about crypto, you never actually had any interaction with crypto before. With WhatsApp, it's easy to just get on chain by just sending naira, and then you have USDC or USD stable coins through your WhatsApp. So regular people can actually come into the on-chain economy through that platform, right? And there's so many amazing Nigerian building products whereby you can have a card, just like your regular credit card or debit card, and you could easily just swap. In the supermarket, you have your stable coin in your card, and rather than off-ramping it to Naira, you could just easily pay with the card. So there's an amazing like that season of new on-chain products that are being built to really facilitate crypto stablecoin payments in Nigeria. And I think it's really, 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 is really growing even in Kenya as well. So there's a couple of guys building the Kenyan stablecoin and Ghana as well. So the stablecoin market is going to be a big boom. I think that's the future of payments. And Africa looks like those who are really going to benefit the most from this new technology. I'm seeing it become mainstream and get it to retail in the next 12 years.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that.